Hey everybody, welcome to our last week of the 10 online sessions that we've been doing. This week might look a little bit different. I've actually set up on an easel today. I know a lot of people are working from home, so often it's easier to work flat, but ideally if later down the track you can get to the point of working on an easel, even if it's a little table easel, it's really good because when you're working you can work and also get away and get a bit of distance, which is really great for painting. So the focus of our last session today is kind of bringing some of the different aspects that we've learned over the last 10 weeks into more of a finished artwork. So I'm picking things that I really like to do and what I enjoyed out of the different exercises I've shown you. But this is really about you and what you make, and we're all really different, which is what makes our artwork so fabulous. So if you can have a think over what you really enjoyed over the last 10 weeks, what you thought looked good, and kind of combine some of those things into a finished work. So I'm going to show you how I would do that, and as I said, yours will cater a little bit different. If you have any questions on how you can combine that or do that, just check in on the Facebook page. So I've started with looking at the colour wheel, and I've kind of pre-mixed this, mixed some colours, and I'm working, I'm going to do one landscape painting and I'm going to do one abstract painting. So often I'll put an image of what I'm working from as a reference on my easel, which makes it really easy to kind of bounce back and forth from. So I've mixed some green here with blue and yellow, as you can see. I've got greens opposite red on my palette. I've mixed a grey over here already, and I've also got some blue and some white. You can see here that I've already mixed kind of some greys together. But you should know how to mix your greys and know how to mix your colours from the earlier sessions. So if you need to go back and have a look at those videos, do. But yeah, I've got my palette ready. So often when I'm starting a painting, I like to use the spray bottle for my first layer, and I like to use quite a bit of water and just be really kind of quick and get the first layer down. So I'll often use quite a large brush. For this painting, yeah, I reckon I might even use a bit bigger for the sky. So I'm just going to jump straight in there. And this is kind of how I would start. Not being precious, but just looking at what shapes are in my landscape. I don't mind personally if things kind of run like that down my canvas. I can always paint over that later, or if I think it looks good, I'll leave it. So that's how easy you can kind of put a sky in. Next, because I'm going to continue almost with that grey blue, I'm going to put the water in. Looking at this water, it's got a little bit more green in it than the sky. So I'm going to kind of just messily put that in. Again, see how bright that green is? You can kind of dull that. That's where your greys can come in. Actually, like I said earlier, they make those kind of straight colours pop with their they kind of dull things a little bit. So I'm going to pop that in. Then I'm going to give my brush a quick wash. And then we have the green. Again, with my green, I'm going to mix in a little bit of grey for the darker parts. And so this is just like the first layer, really, of my painting. And yeah, it can be really, really, really loose. I also often at this point do like to bring in a bit of light with the spray bottle. Because I really like that drippy effect, how I paint. You might not, but that's how I'm going to put in my first background. For the more abstract painting today, I'm going to get a background down, kind of like we did, I think, in week 1 or 2, and just kind of see what comes from that. Again, as you can see here, this is kind of a dry brush technique, which can work really nicely as well. I'm going to bring in a bit of greys. Get a bit of water. Okay, so for my first layer of both of them, I'm pretty happy. And that's how easy we can smash that in with knowing how to mix our colours a little bit, bringing our greys in, using a big brush and a bit of water, which is how I like to approach a painting when I start. You might start with drawing. If the charcoal line exercise was one that you really liked, then don't do this and start with this. This last session's all about focusing on what we individually want and bringing it together. So I'm going to let these two dry for a little bit and pause the filming, and then I'll come back with our second layer. Thanks, guys.